So welcome to another edition, but a very special edition of Event Prof's Happy Hour. And this is a momentous occasion for more than one reason. One reason is that we have a very, very special guest today, the illustrious Bernie DeKoven, who is an amazing guy.
Could you click on my thing, please?
All
right, yes! Click away, baby! Oh my God, I love it! Thank you very much.
Bernie is easily satisfied. I think those are hands, but we could pretend that they are feet.
It was beautiful. All those bubbles coming up with different people's faces. It was fantastic. It made me feel so approved of and cared for.
So,
click. I have 69 things now. 69, and I got most of them in the last second.
Bernie has been spending, I think most of his life exploring the fundamental issues of play and fun, and how they affect the human condition, and how that has turned into practical aspects of his life. He's also the person who I think this is, correct me if I'm wrong about this, but you were essentially the trainer for the new games back in the 60s, long ago.
Right, I was one of the people, as a matter of fact, who composed the new games training program. I went around the world to direct people in new games and bring new games to the desperate many.
So all those games with large numbers of people in tie-dyed T-shirts, in the sun and long hair, and
you have to imagine there are a lot of little kids,
old
people,
free love, and large balls being thrown.
People with big. No, what did you say? Again with the big ball?
Large balls being thrown is what I said. I'm sticking with it.
It was called the Earth Ball.
The Earth Ball.
And it was 6 feet in diameter. We used to play this game, which was like volleyball. But the thing is, it took 20 people to get the ball up over the net. And what happened was we just got so excited that every time somebody was able to do it, that nobody kept score. It was just so fun to do that.
Wow.
And it was a big ball, and the planet was painted on it. So it was very symbolic, I'm throwing up the world.
The world is in our hands.
The whole world is in my hands, absolutely.
Yes.
We are the world, for example. It could have been that, yes.
And Bernie created, he went around finding games like this, and eventually created a huge collection, which he wrote about in a book that I think came out in the 60s. Was that a no? You don't want me to mention this?
I said huge. I was just emphasizing huge. So he wrote this book called The Well-Played Game, which The Well-Played Game didn't come out until 78, actually.
Oh, 78, okay.
In 71, however, I published a 5-volume curriculum for elementary school kids.
Oh, wow.
It consisted of nothing but games.
And I think that book has just been republished by MIT Press.
I hope you all heard that. That was MIT. Prestigious. MIT Press.
So you can find out more about Bernie. He has 2 websites. He has the website that he posts on all kinds of wonderful, beautiful things is deepfun.com. It's in the question box on one of the squares on your screen. He also has a lovely book, which is free to download, and which I think you told me hundreds of thousands of copies have been downloaded.
127.
127,000 copies have been downloaded, which you can download free from aplayfulpath.com, which is also on your question box.
I have the best non-seller of the year.
127,000 copies.
Why didn't I charge for it? What's the matter with me? Why do we have to do it that way? 127,000. I could be a millionaire.
In spirit.
Yes.
No, I'm kind of retired, and I'm at a point now in my life where I can really just focus on counting the things that I've been able to do so far. Just take the time to realize that, man, I've done a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And
You have done a lot.
And
it's not over yet.
It's not over.
It's not over yet. So what we thought we would try to do today with Bernie is do something that I think is very difficult. It's hard enough when we're actually together, face to face in the same room, to do things that are interactive, joyful, experimental, playful. I don't know if it's that hard, but it doesn't happen very much at events that we go to. But we're not going to try that today because we're not all in the same room. We are separated by hundreds or thousands of miles, and nevertheless,
as my friend says, that's a relief.
It could be. It's true. There are certain positives on being connected virtually, but we're going to try and do something collectively, build something together collectively, even though we are separated in space. And so I'm going to pass things over to you, Bernie.
Thank you.
And explain.
I had this all prepared, as a matter of fact. So just sit back for a moment and listen to me read. Did somebody just bark?
It's Kiki's dog.
Oh, it's good to have a dog spirit, isn't it? Really is wonderful. Because, you can't think of anything more playful in the whole world than a dog, except maybe a baby. It's really wonderful. Okay, you ready? This is deep, everybody. And if you soon I'm going to ask you to participate by the message thing, so you should know where it is, because that's how you, except for the 3 prominent blabbers up here, are going to be using. And the other 2 of you, what I would like you to do is to try to do this with you're going to be the exemplifiers, and I'm going to be telling you what to do. And you're going to, whenever you feel so moved, just participate. All right. Imagine a photograph. The photograph is a photograph of a button. You got it? All right, take your time. It might still be, as they say, developing. All right, give yourself time, look at it. So, okay, you see a button. But as you look more closely, or you think about it, you notice it has things like color, shape. Maybe you see the light reflecting off of it. You understand the size. You know what it's made of. So you say something like, and this is you would be like in your turn, and you would start with, you say something like, did I mention that the button's round? Now, if you say that, everybody, whatever it is that I thought I'm looking at a round button too. Got it? Then when there's somebody else, if it comes to you and you're looking at this round button and you notice that it's a brass button, you would say, did I mention it's a brass button? Now everybody's looking at a brass button. But they're only looking at what they can see. It's in the photograph and it's real to them. But you add each time. You add each time. Nothing is wrong. You've got to make room for whatever anybody tells you. And it's just a picture. It's not a story. It's just an image that we're developing. Okay, you got it? Okay. So, and this is all for the fun of it. And if you, there's engraving on it. That's a good thing. But we're talking about something else. That was just the experiment. I don't want to talk about the button. There was engraving on it. That's interesting. Brass button with engraving on it. You want to continue with the brass button? Why not? Yes, let's do that. Brass button. Well, you're not allowed to ask questions. You only try to, whatever, you have to make up what it says because it's your imagination. You know what I'm saying? Yes, just like you said. You tell me. if you want to. If you don't really see it that clearly.
A profile of Bernie Sanders. In Latin.
Hey, leave him alone. He's a nice man. A profile of Bernie's? You really? I didn't see that. Okay. It was in Latin. And it's a Latin. Oh, there's a profile of Bernie Sanders on the button, the brass button. Is that what we're saying? And there's an inscription, I guess underneath, like a coin, or is it over? We don't know yet. But there's an inscription. Okay, so it's Larry David. Give us a minute, everybody, so we can see it, all right? Larry David, brass button, and a Latin inscription. Larry David. I got it. In Latin, I can't read the Latin, but luckily my translator is in my filter, so I immediately in Pig Latin. I can read Pig Latin. Profile of Bernie Sanders. No, it's Larry David. And it's a Latin. Did I mention it? Quickly yarn through it. Reflexive gold.
Oh.
This brass button has purple yarn through it? Sure, why not? Whoa, yarn in the button. Okay. Reflexive gold. You're very visual, Kiki. I like that.
She is.
Pig Latin. There's a Pig Latin. We didn't figure out what the Pig Latin inscription was, is all I'm saying, if you want to. Anybody can see it. If not, I would like to note that this button is sewn onto some kind of fabric. In case you thought it was just lying around in a drawer or something, or in a sewer, or in space, or next to the elevator. It has purple yarn running through it, reflects gold. And did I mention whatever I just said that I should have said that I mentioned? So thank you.
Now let me mention that any of you who are watching are welcome to include. It's not just Bernie, me, and Kiki here, and Doug. Any of the others of you who are here are welcome to join in.
Orange polyester suit, yes, baby.
Who loves you, baby?
Oh my God! I thought it was one of those big wool things.
I was seeing something more severe, but
orange polyester suit.
Okay.
Did I mention that it's an orange polyester pantsuit?
Ah.
Oh, a fez could work. Doug is seeing a fez. Well,
yes.
Maybe the wearer is wearing a fez.
No, a fez.
A fez, an orange fez, maybe.
Yeah. On top of the person who's wearing this?
Yeah.
I had it's funny, my picture was a lot bigger, to see a whole person, and I was only looking up close. It's funny. Orange polyester.
I like him. I don't know who you are, but you should probably jump on too. I should probably jump off so you can jump on. That's awesome.
He's doing just fine in the order of the suburb.
It has this order. Where does
I belong to that order.
So is this okay? Wait, I couldn't ask questions. You're not supposed to ask questions. I have to make a choice. Mm-hmm. This happens to be a male, I'm just saying, who's wearing this orange polyester suit, pantsuit, on his lapel, there's a brass button.
Right.
Is that right? And he's wearing the fez of orange polyester as well. I think we have it. I think we got the idea. Nobody wants to play with us, but that's okay, except for somebody calling himself Brighter, but I know that's not his name. A friend of mine. He's a very good friend. Smart. He deserves a clap. I don't see where I can clap on him. Where do I clap on him?
Oh, you can give him a
Let's see.
star. Yeah.
Is
Yes.
that like a clap? Oh, it does look like a clap. You getting that clap over there?
Oh, we can give you lots of stars, sir.
Yeah, stars. Mercy. Mercy. Is that Mercy? I think it is Mercy. You spelled it wrong, but
No, he's French.
yeah. So here's the real game, however, that we were coming to, for which this was a warm-up, if you don't mind. Okay. Okay, I'm going to do it now. Are you ready for it? Okay. All right, we're going to go into the group masters phase of this game. So we play with a photograph. You see that basically you're trying not to tell a story. You're not trying to be cute either. All you're trying to do is just say what you see. And the more you focus on just saying what you're seeing, the better, the more fun the game is. You know what I mean? Yes. Yes. Yes, you can just say yes somewhere or applaud me or something. So I know that Kiki said yes. Okay. Thank you, Ben. Got it okay. I got a clap. I don't want to talk about it. Now, all right. Are you ready now to go into the master phase of this game? Where we are actually going to focus on the ultimate conference, which was the topic of this thing in the first place. Is that correct? Wasn't that the...
Yes.
Yes. Thank you for acknowledging that.
And with thinking about something that is just wonderful.
Oh, I got it. I got it all down. I'm ready for it. I wrote this up. I'm no slouch when it comes to. Okay. Now, we're ready to go to the masters phase. Or perhaps something better we don't know. I'm reading this. I wrote it though. Instead of a photo, we'll be imagining a vine. You know what a vine is? It's like this little video loop, usually like very short. Sometimes it's like cut up little things, right? Mm-hmm. Other times it's like one screen, but usually it's like what, 3 seconds? Mm-hmm. A vine? Yeah. All right. So you're imagining not a photo now, but a vine. Okay? So whatever it is, it's like moving or jerking around or whatever you are imagining it's doing. And this vine, and it repeats, as you know, it just repeats. So in case you miss it, it's not no deal because it's going to come right back in a couple. You got it? Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Now, this vine was taken at your dream conference. This really, it was taken at the best. This was, of all the conferences you've ever attended, this was better than the best of them. Okay, that's what you see in the vine. You see this little quick flickering interaction between people. Got it? Can you see it? Is it like? All right. And this is, if I may just add to it, it's like the most successful, energizing, empowering, productive conference you've ever experienced. You with me there? That's what this is like. Oh, boy, I've been transformed. It's like a combination of an evangelical service and a group improv, something like that. Okay, so it's empowering, productive. Let it loop a few times or a few dozen times until you see it. Notice how you notice how each thing you notice perfectly reveals the power. Each thing in this little vine, is perfectly revealing the power of that particular moment that's being captured. In this, your ultimate conference. Is this too complex? Mm-hmm. No? All right, I'm going to start. Because in my vine, I'm seeing 100 people. 100 people. That's all I want to talk about. That's as far as I go. I'm not seeing anything. Somebody else has to say something now. 100 people. It's a huge diversity, says Mr. Brighter, Doug Brighter. Did I mention, says Adrian, as I look around the room, everyone is intently talking and listening. Did I mention they're all smiling and laughing?
Did I mention that there isn't a device to be seen? No one's looking at a phone or a laptop or anything like that?
Yeah. I took it for granted. I was looking and it's, oh, this is just, oh, mm. Did I mention they all seem wonderfully interesting? And like, oh, I'm sorry.
I was going to add that it's just a beautiful space. It's naturally lit. It's not glare, but there's no sunlight. Glare, direct sunlight, but it's beautiful natural light. The sun is shining, and it's a gorgeous space.
They're all barefoot.
They're all barefoot, Kiki says.
It's an open space. Yeah.
Yes.
It's not barefoot. It's an open. They're wearing like these comfortable like yoga pants and like a really comfortable floppy clothes. You know what I mean? They're just like everybody. It's not like uniforms. Everybody has different outfits on, but like they look like they've just taken a bath together or something.
And this open space that Doug mentions, there's plenty of room, so people aren't all cramped in and so forth. And the acoustics are great. You can hear people. You can hear the people who are near you talking clearly. There's no loud background sounds. Fantastic acoustics in the space.
Mm-hmm.
I like the hammocks lining the wall. I mean, it's such a good idea that there's that there's a lot of opportunity for nap time if you're tired. There's a sense that you can do really anything you want. Yeah.
All the different kinds of seating. If you want to sit down, you want to take a rest. Besides the hammocks, there's all these great chairs. There are couches, there are bean bags, there are regular chairs, there are stools with little tables, high top tables, all kinds of stuff. Anything you want, you can find it there.
I like the people in the bathtub. Mine keeps on flicking back to the people, and then it goes somewhere else. So it's like weird, but
that is weird.
They're smiling a lot, those people, and like deeply wrapped in conversation. They're not like sexy or anything. They're just like, oh boy, this feels so good, and now I can really talk to you and focus on you. And so, what are you doing after it?
And Doug is talking about waves of silence and conversation. So there are times when it's everyone is quiet, and that's wonderful. We're thinking about things, we're musing about things we've just heard or experienced, and then other times we're really intently into communicating.
So you see all of those moments so there's like a flicker there in the hot tub, and then you see all of this beautiful place. They're just like you can see and then it flickers maybe to one person's face, and I mentioned that person is like looks like she's laughing hysterically almost.
There's a lot of laughter, and the thing that I notice is that most of the time I'm really aware of my own experience. I'm just having a wonderful time, and I'm not going out so much and saying, "Whoa, look at all this is happening," and I'm not outside the experience. I'm part of it at this event. And that is that's my focus of attention for most of the time. What I'm doing right now is actually, sort of looking at what is happening in the sort of big picture is not my normal experience while I'm at this event.
Oh, so you're at the event and there's a video. You're in the video. I wasn't even in the video. I thought it was like another person. Nice. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good to see you there.
Yeah. It's one of those events which just happens, and then afterwards, you say, wow, that was amazing. But at the time, you're not spending much time thinking about why it's so great. You're just enjoying the fact that it is great.
Yeah. Yeah. Collective feeling of connection.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
All connected. Yeah, that's why the diversity is so exciting, because the connection is so powerful, because we have all these different points of view to look at.
Mm-hmm.
Other people.
Right. Music.
Yeah.
Drawing.
Artists. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And there are places where we can play music too. Maybe we can sing, where we can draw. Again, there are wonderfully gifted people here who are doing these things, but sometimes we are one of them.
And can you see out the window all those people playing games? There's like a frisbee. It looks like some kind of ultimate frisbee, only it's like penultimate frisbee. I can't really figure out. It's just like, because I only see like a little snap of it. But man, there's like this ecstasy of involvement that's going on outside.
It's one of those events where there are just so many possibilities that, almost, that you could choose 3 or 4 different things that are catching your eye at the moment. And they would all be great. And you just end up picking one of them because you can't do everything.
So this is all just one moment frozen in time. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. It's captured this way, 3-second moment.
So Doug is talking about having places where we're going to go to laugh, to get hugs, to get compliments. I like the idea of somewhere. I need some compliments. Okay. Go to the compliment corner.
My friend Maddie has a thing where he invites his audience whenever he's doing a presentation. Whenever you feel like it, just say, "I need a round of applause," and everybody stands up and applauds. It's like part of his thing.
I like
people
that.
do it. Yeah. Music and stations for laughter and hugs and compliments. Ask and you shall receive.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Why
not? So I don't know how much time we have, so I want to be sure that we've kind of captured the essence, not only of the image of the vine, which was very hard to do, but of how we are imagining what our ultimate conference is like, which is my purpose in coming here and playing with you guys, because I really, thank God, I have never been, I have peripherally only been involved in trying to organize a giant conference for organizations. I'm saying thank God because I know how hard it is and challenging and very frequently unrecognized, unappreciated.
I love this practice. I think that I could see applying did I mention to like explore this when developing sessions and developing, I just spent all day at the American Society of Association Executives on a selection committee going through session proposals for their conference.
Was ASAE people?
ASAE. And and so I did that from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. today. And it's very much on my mind, and I can see like how it would be so, hence the beer, hence the sweet baby Jesus beer. Yes.
You can't look at that without saying it.
But it was really, really good. But there wasn't as much inspiration or creativity in the submissions. And I think that going through this process, I can see how, to think of a richer experience, something that you're using all your senses and not just imagining what you're seeing in the photograph, but even how it feels and just all of it, I think that is really helpful. But I really like that. Did I mention?
In a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And listen, as you go doing this, would you please let me know what your experience is as you start doing this with people? I'm very interested in it. That's exactly what this whole exercise is designed. I have a belief that imagination is really, really important.
Yeah.
And we can imagine together, and we become skilled at imagine. And I've had my workshops, we were doing this, during like a 5-day retreat or something in the evenings, and everybody was too tired or stoned or whatever they are. So we would just lie on the floor and start playing these imagination games. And it was so powerful and wonderful because we don't take the time to imagine anything clearly enough to be able to make it happen.
Well, it's the curiosity. I mean, I realized like a year ago that I just wasn't curious about things anymore. And I started working on my curiosity. I actually thought every day, like I need to practice curiosity and work at why is it that? The same questions that a little kid would ask, but saying, why is it like that? And how do I feel about that? And what does that seem like? And why do they do that? And it probably made me a better conversationalist, but it also started inspiring me. I started feeling more inspiration and I got a lot out of just being curious about things. And so I see this, did I mention? You're asking yourself, you're sort of prompting yourself to be curious and imagine more,
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
This curiosity incorporates both the imagination piece and the play piece. And Doug says imagination is the first step towards creation, and that's right. I mean, we have to be open to that. Otherwise, we are going to just stay on the same old stuff.
Yeah,
that we've done before, that we've seen before.
I was just like thinking about play in general, and then I was realizing that imagination is like the ultimate play form. You just can't imagine anything more able to change in an instant than your own imagination.
Right.
It's like pure play. And then I started thinking about imagination. I realized not only is it play, but it's like essential to it. I mean, our imagination plays such a vital role in almost every minute of our lives. We meet somebody and we imagine what it's like when we're going to meet them, so we decide maybe it's not going to be so good, and so we look the other way, and then we meet somebody else and this person looks like this one really open, and we say hi to that person. And that person's imagining we're going to smile back, but we don't smile back. And that, like every imagination is just so getting together and playing with the imagination like we did is just one. So I have a whole thing of games that I've been gathering that I've really, where you can play a spiritual muscle. That's right. I guess it's spiritual. Doug writes, imagination, first of all, he writes, imagination is the first step toward creation. Then he writes, imagination is a spiritual muscle and it needs to be exercised. Absolutely. That's why I've been on this imagination. And I have a whole bunch of games on my on Deep Fun in the other games section, or deepfun.com/imaginary-fun. Should I write it down? Somebody put it in a thing. I could do it with a question queue.
I think if you go to Deep Fun, you can find it pretty easily, Bernie. Just go to deepfun.com, folks. It's all there.
I spent a lot of time. It's like 50 years. It is. But this imagination that you put me in, it's just like I've been going through stages. I'm in like 74 and I'm evolving, and it's such a fun time in my life. I wish you the same, because secretly, once you're finished with having to make money for your work, you can just explode. You follow all the things that have pushed you through your work to make you seek the work that you sought, make you do the thing that you've done, take the role that you're free. Suddenly you're free from that. You don't have to make money.
Mm-hmm. But I like what you said, Kiki. I mean, but we shouldn't wait until we get to that point, right?
Yeah. Amen.
it's great, Kiki, what you said, that you are, that you're intentionally looking
Yeah.
to be curious. How can I be curious? Finding places, noticing when you are, noticing how you feel when you are. I know that that's important to me as well. That's what I write on my book when I give it to people these days. I write in the front, besides signing my name, I write "Stay curious."
Nice.
Yes, because it's so important. And curiosity is this wonderful gift that we have. I know humans have. Yes,
it's a connection to curiosity. Is a connection to wonder, right? And I guess wonder is like spiritual curiosity or something, like the street. But it's the connection to life. It's what keeps you. It's beautiful, Kiki. Really, I'm so glad that you come across. See, that's what I'm saying. That there's something about you, your person, that even if you weren't trying to make money, is trying to make money in the way that it is for allowing yourself to be you.
Yeah.
And once you've, whatever level you have to reach, you really let it be, and it will, it's just no more whatever you have to do that's not quite you in order to do what you have to do. Tell me somebody's understanding me. I'm sorry.
No. There's nothing to apologize for, sir.
But I'm really glad you guys like this game. If anybody else happened to like the game and you want to mention it in the chat that's here, how many people are visiting us at this time?
We have 6 people. Let's see, we have 6 or 7 of us here. And we've heard a lot from Doug, which is lovely.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, and everyone else, and you can lurk. That is the nice thing about this.
There are 25 people who have been rolling through here at different times. So,
curiosity.
Yeah. So do you go and I guess do you still do presentations and stuff to different groups and?
Well, frankly, I stopped doing presentations, and now I'm doing only retreats.
Only retreats. Okay.
I have to. In order to really help people, I have to be with them for like 5 days, because it's all about rediscovering the power of your playfulness, curiosity, definitely your creativity, the importance of fun in your life, your flexibility, your responsiveness, it takes a long time. It takes a lot to do that because you have to, experience it with rocks and with paint and with clay, and you have to experience it when in praising the dawn and then tasting your glass of orange juice and then hugging somebody and walking down the road. And
so is there like everybody, at least everyone I know is always looking for how can I start my day differently so that like the top 5 ways that the most productive people start their day and that kind of thing. Is there some kind of imagination exercise that we can do as we start our day to put us on the right path? Or is there something that you suggest that as we go into our day that helps us, start out better?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Good question. Doug likes that question. Well, I have 2 things to respond to that. I don't know if this is the best. I have a whole bunch of games. So, if you start out by playing a game or doing something a little fun, like that, then that's even better than trying to do anything specific. Just do something that's a little fun for you to do. I don't know. I mean, but if it's especially if it's the kind of fun that energizes you, that makes you feel good about yourself and your body and where you're living and what just what kind. So sometimes it has to be imaginary fun because everything that you're doing is awful, or maybe it's doing pretty well and you want to make it more, but imaginary. So this is not a game, but I've been imagining that fun is I take walks every day and I imagine all of a sudden that fun is the whole reason everything is the way it is. The whole world. And when I see a tree, I think, what that tree is doing? It's having fun. And then I try, oh yes, it is, because I imagine myself branching, in the and like holding up so much and feeling so strong. Now I imagine saying goodbye to Kiki. Boy, that was oh man, I liked having her here. I see
She's
why
nice. I like her. Yeah.
sweet and open to play. And
I was going to mention that
children, I hate children.
children.
They cry and they make you do things. Why do we ever have children? For those of us,
They do eventually grow up.
They do.
Sometimes.
Then you start. Oh, I miss my baby. And then you have grandchildren.
Grandchildren, right?
Then,
That works.
and then you try to really give them back to your kids because.
But you get to do that. That's good. That's what I like. That's the best thing. They're good. I was going to say about fun. Sometimes, even if you're stuck in kind of routine stuff that's awful, one thing you can do is look at the things that you've been doing the same way for years and do them differently. Like this sounds really weird, maybe, but like how many different ways can I clean my teeth? I have to clean my teeth every day. I'm supposed to, to be good and keep my dentist happy and maybe me happy in my older years and so on. But have I been cleaning them the same way for 30 years? This part first and then this part and so on. Could I do that differently? Backwards, in different orders, singing a song while I'm actually cleaning my teeth. I mean, all these, anything.
Yeah, I discovered that washing dishes. Somehow I decided just to let my mind don't even think about it, just one dish after the other, washing, and it's just all these things started happening to me as a result of it, because like I felt how the warm water, how felt that, and the soap and the light gleaming off of things. And then it was all done.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was like such a, oh yeah. It's kind of like, and then I said, oh man, washing dishes is kind of like a meditation. Mm-hmm. You start off and it takes you somewhere else. All of a sudden, one dish after the other dish, nothing you can do.
Yeah. And part of that is noticing when you are stuck in that routine, because I know that's a lot of what I have to. That's helpful for me to notice that something is going on, whatever it is.
Well, okay. Okay. I don't want the noticing part. It is helpful, but it could take you to the dark side, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Right? You could start saying, oh, I'm such a terrible person. Why do I still do it this way when I should be doing it? Oh, my mind, I'm so insensitive and unaware, and I could be changing my whole, so.
I see that as making, a judgment about your noticing. I mean, when I see noticing is just noticing. It's, it's like.
No. There's two things. You can be either noticing things that you could be doing, or you could be noticing in the things that you are doing what's fun for you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because I happen to believe that if you notice, you'll discover that, just like I said when I was pretending that tree was reaching to me just because it was fun, it was reaching up, it was just, I've been pretending maybe that the reason why, that there's some fun reason for me wanting to do this. And it's a different thing because it allows me to be building on something that's fun for me, as opposed to having to reach for something, having to change my behavior or try to do something different. So I'm brushing my teeth. What's fun for me? Mm-hmm. Oh, it's really fun when I get up. and then what happens, I think, is that you start being aware enough of the brushing your teeth to want to change it, because you start. That's when your curiosity comes in, I guess, because then you say, "Oh, I wonder how far I could spit." Yeah, really. Oh dear, come up. I'm going to brush my teeth. I want you to see this. You won't believe it. I'm up to 12 feet now. 12 feet. Oh my God. So Doug says that there's a big difference. He says finding the fun is changing the experience. Oh man. Finding the fun is changing the experience. Yes, but it's not changing what you're doing. It's changing how you're experiencing it.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's changing the experience. Yes. Exactly.
But also, I sometimes you don't know where the fun is. I mean, I don't think I know necessarily where the fun is, so I have to change the experience to find the fun.
I'm saying it's right. I'm saying it's right within the way you're doing it. It's right there. It's right within the experience. Mm-hmm. And that will tell you, once you find that, it will tell you how to change it. It will tell you where to change the experience. But if you are not trying to find the fun first, you will know. I mean, there's always something fun. Really, there's always, because you're alive. Life is, I believe that I have my, if life were a game, then I'm winning. Because I'm still alive. As long as I'm alive, I'm winning, as you are. And we're all winners. Mm-hmm. So why do we have to think of ourselves as anything else but? So the key is choosing to find it. It is always present. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. So I'm not, by the way, Adrian, I'm not denying your approach to your life more fun. I'm just suggesting that that these two ways are tied together. That you could be, by looking for what's fun, find what needs to be changed. It would change your life. That itself might be changing your life, changing the experience. Just finding, is it always fun? Because there's, do you know the idea of flow? Mm-hmm. So it's like your mind suddenly becomes one. You become one. So that's that moment when it's fun. Is the same moment you're brushing your teeth, and all of a sudden you find yourself, whoa, it was something like for me. I'm one with my teeth.
Good thing too.
I want to be one with my teeth. Please make me one with my teeth. Right. So you're just. I'm just saying. That's another way of looking at it. Mm-hmm.
I'm talking from my perspective because certainly personally, I often get stuck in routine. I get up, I put my clothes on, the things that we do every day. I think it's easy. I wish it wasn't for me. Maybe it isn't for some. It's not for some people, but for me, I think for many people, there is. It's easy to become automatic.
Excuse me, but it's also easy to acknowledge to yourself how much you enjoy being automatic, because otherwise you wouldn't be doing it. Right. So it's like, that's what I do. I follow fun. I always do what's the most fun for me. Always, whatever it is. So if I'm brushing my teeth and if my whole morning has become automatic and I wake up at 7:30 and it's not until the 11:45 that I realize that I've done anything or I know where I am, I must really, really enjoy not totally being there. So maybe I'm so totally being in the routine that I become one routine. Maybe it's a spiritual discipline.
Oh, I think that's definitely possible. I also think that it's possible to to continue to do things that aren't that you're losing. You lose sight of choosing fun through habit.
Yeah. Yes. You lose sight. You lose sight of choice itself. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're not open to the possibilities. That's when routine is the opposite of what you described.
Well, what I'm saying
Yes.
is that if you decide that you want to change your routine, the first question you should ask yourself is, what's so fun about this routine that I won't let myself change it?
Mm-hmm.
And it works. It's just a different approach. And if it doesn't work for you, I'm sorry. All right. So what's going on now? 5:20. We have to go on to we should be.
No, we don't. No, we don't have to. What do people want to do, Doug?
Talk to me, anybody.
Talk to us.
Either talk or go away already.
Let's see. We have him here. We have and we have Kamal. But Doug, I'd love to see you. I'd love to hear you.
Oh, well, then there's an open seat.
There is an open seat. You can click on a button on your screen that says "Join this conversation," even if you just have a microphone on your device.
Yes, that's an invitation.
And there he is. There he is. He's coming.
Oh, here comes the wise one. He's still coming. It's a long trip. We wait in silence for your arrival.
There he is.
Hello.
Ladies and gentlemen, Doug, known as Brighter. Why did you say Brighter in your?
I that's been my Twitter handle forever.
Oh.
When I first signed up for Twitter.
Oh.
So it is what it is.
It is what it is.
I didn't know Blab was coming.
Yeah. Hey, Blab is working very well, by the way.
Blab is really interesting. I think it's a game changer.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
Because it's sort of a floating coffee table. Come around, pull up a chair, chew the fat.
I think also that it has as few people as it has is better, is an advantage over Hangouts. I think one of the detriments of Hangouts that makes it into such a stiff, formal kind of environment is the idea that you have a live audience, and that there's all these people. I like it a lot.
Well, there's sort of a control dynamic with Hangout, especially Hangouts on Air, where the person who organizes it is really running the show. And there's a lot more sort of distributed opportunity here for people to do different things. And, there isn't that I'm a guest in your event as opposed to I'm one of the crowd. So, yeah, I'm enjoying my Blab interaction so
it's
far.
fun to say Blab, but to think of yourself as a blabber.
It is actually, and it was interesting this session trying to figure out alternative ways of expressing reaction.
Yeah. But all you got is applause.
And all you got is pair of hands.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Yeah. They need a little like a razor, a little, where he goes.
Right. Yeah. Sound effects would be cool. Sound effects would definitely be cool.
So besides the numbers, I mean, I'm not what other differences do you see with between Hangouts? Have you been on Hangouts, Doug? Or?
Oh, for years.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think this provokes more engagement with the chat for people that are tuning in.
Mm-hmm.
And it sort of announces that you're arriving and all of that stuff. So it's got a slightly higher level of social facilitation that Hangouts don't have.
It feels more accessible also than a Hangout does.
Yeah.
To the user, because I know I can at least interact through chat, and there's so few people that are talking that they're going to know they're responsible to me in terms of responding to my. You know what I mean? It's more obvious. I don't know. It feels very natural.
Yeah, and if you actually pop in, you're in. You have to engage. It's not like you pop in and you sit there. This is not a spectator medium. Whereas with Hangouts, you have 6 or 8 or 10 people attending, and you can end up with the 99-1 rule. You can have 9 people, 8 people sitting there not contributing, and 1 person reacting and 1 person spieling.
Yeah, that's
so
mostly. It still works that way in Blab, though. People use it to broadcast their ideas as much as possible. The same kind of. I think it's, Adrian and I are both very inclusive people. We like to dialogue rather than dominate or direct something. And you too. So I think for us, this is a really good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited now that I think about it, because I might want to try this
again. I do. It's interesting. I do like the fact that you're restricted to 4 people at one time, and it reminds me, when I do discussions with groups, I like using fishbowl formats where you have essentially a format, a physical layout, so that you have maybe a few talking chairs, and the rule is very simply you can only talk if you're in one of those chairs. And this is kind of potentially like that. If we had 5 or 6 people can drop in and out, but we've only got 4 chairs.
But there always has to be a facilitator, one person who recognizes themselves as a facilitator.
Yeah. And so the facilitator's in one of those chairs, but the other chairs are open for grabs, and the facilitator just sort of tries to be fair about who gets to talk and so on. But I also like that that whole model. When you have a group, it pretty much stops any one person from dominating the discussion, because everyone's aware that they're doing it.
Yeah.
And so when someone else walks up and all the chairs are full and those 3 people have been talking for a while, the person who's been talking the most, I've never had a problem with that person saying, "Oh, okay, time for someone else."
That's right. It's kind of the magic of the fishbowl. That's really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So this is kind of like that. It's interesting. I mean, I've been running these Hangouts for a year or 2. I don't know how many I've done. And we often do have just a few people. But even when there are more than 4 or 5 people on, I think it's possible to, again, with good facilitation, it's possible to have people to bring everybody in. And I'm very aware, though, that if I don't do that, if someone joins and I don't bring them into the conversation pretty soon, they're going to leave. They didn't join to just sit there and stare at the screen. So, but this is interesting, and I do agree with you, Doug, that just the kind of more prominent chat window, the text chat window, which in Google Hangouts is kind of like, it's like an option. You don't have to have it there.
Yeah,
that's right.
It's a subtle difference.